see my screen? Can you all see my screen?
Kids, what is an adverb? By Teaching Without Frills. Parts of speech are different types of words we use when we speak and write. There are 8 main parts of speech: nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. So, what's an adverb? An adverb is a word that describes a verb, an adjective, or another adverb.
Okay, so the main work of an adverb is to describe a verb most often, but sometimes it can describe an adjective or another adverb. But most often it describes the verb. Sometimes it can also describe an adjective or another adverb.
Adverbs often help answer the questions how, when, where, and to what extent. Let's look at some of the different types of adverbs and learn how we use them. Many adverbs describe verbs by telling how an action happens, like quickly running, peacefully sleeping, or talking loudly. Do you notice something about these 3 adverbs? Oh yeah, they all end in ly.
So this is something which you have noted, all of you. How. An adverb describes how an action happens. How does an action happen? Kaisa bhaga tha? How did she walk? How did she walk? She walked quickly. Walk is the verb. Quickly is the adverb. It is describing how she walked. She walked quickly. He slept peacefully. Sleeping is an action, right? Slept peacefully. Slept is the action here and peacefully is the adverb. And next, if you can see the next one, it says loudly. She spoke loudly. Spoke क्या होता है? Spoke is an action. Spoke is an action. How did she speak? She spoke loudly. So if you can see all these 3 adverbs, there is something really very common. All these 3 are ending with ly. ly. Did you all notice that? All the 3 verbs, adverbs जो हम देखे अभी, quickly, peacefully, loudly, they ended with ly. लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हर ly वाला word will be an adverb. Now just look at the video, you'll learn more about it.
Quick, peaceful, and loud are all adjectives that can describe nouns. But when we want to describe a verb, we often add an ly on the end to create an adverb. Can you think of some other adverbs that end in ly?
Now can you think of some adverbs? चलो हमने बोला कि ly से end होते हैं. You will put it in the chat box. You will write it in the chat box and send it to me. Think of an adverb. Now you got some idea that an adverb usually ends with ly, which describes an action word, which is a verb. She spoke loudly. She ran quickly. He slept peacefully. She shouted loudly. She spoke softly. मैं भी अभी examples दे रही हूँ. Now you think of words. अभी write down in your notebooks. Think of adverbs. Think of adverbs. And can you just write it in the chat box and send it to me? I'll see. Ali Heather, Sami, Sukena, Shabir, can you please switch on your cameras? Can you please switch on your cameras? If you don't switch on your cameras, you're absent for me. I will mark you absent for today. Yes, thank you. Ali Heather, thank you. Shabir, thank you. Sami and Sukena, I'm still waiting for your cameras to be on. Okay, has anyone written in the chat box example of an adverb? Fly is an action. Though it ends with a ly, kisa, fly is an action. Flying. वो already वो word में ly है, but you need to add ly to words and make carefully. Excellent, Fatima Jafar. Carefully. She's written the word carefully. I walked carefully. Walk is the action here And carefully is the adverb that is describing my action. I walked carefully. Has anyone got an example? You can just write the word adverb. I will give you a sentence. आप मुझे सिर्फ word लिख के बताइए. An adverb. The girl ran quickly. Yes, quickly is an adverb. Ran is the verb here and quickly is the adverb that is describing the verb ran. Very good. Chalo, we'll continue with the video and we'll discuss more about it.
Adverbs can also describe when or how often something happens. These are words like now, then, tomorrow, always, never, and sometimes. We can use these words to describe verbs or adjectives like walking now or always happy. Can you think of any other adverbs that describe when or how often something happens?
Can you just see this video again?
We can use these words to describe verbs or adjectives like walking now, ever, and sometimes.
So now these words, now, then, tomorrow, always, never, sometimes, also describe an action. I am walking now. When are you walking? These adverbs will answer the question when. The first we described the words were how. How did he walk? He walked quickly. Now the question is when. When does he walk? I am walking now. Can you get that? Did you all understand? समझ में आ रहा है आपको या मैं फिर से रिपीट करूं? किसी को नहीं समझ में आ रहा है तो प्लीज रेज योर हैंड एंड आस्क मी. Please raise your hand and ask me so that we can discuss before proceeding if you have not understood. The first adverb जो है, it answers the question how. How did he walk? He walked quickly. How did he sleep? He slept peacefully. How did she run? She ran quickly. How did she speak? She spoke softly. So these adverbs answer the question how. Other adverbs, they will be answering the question when. When? Kab hua? Kab. When does he walk? He is walking now. When did he walk? He walked now. When did he sleep? He slept now. Now is the adverb there. Now let me just share the video again.
We can use these words to describe verbs or adjectives like walking now or always happy. Can you think of any other adverbs that describe when or how often something happens? Adverbs can also answer the question where. Words such as inside, outside, here, there, up, and down can be used as adverbs to tell where something happens, like look up or come here. Can you think of any other adverbs that can describe where something happens?
Now these are the adverbs which answer the question where. These are the adverbs which answer the first. What is the question they answered? How. Second, when. When, kab. How is kaise. When is kab. Where is kahan. Where did it happen? These are also adverbs. This will answer the question where. Kahan hua tha ye. Look at these examples.
Finally, we can use adverbs to answer to what extent. These are adverbs like barely, almost, very, and extremely. These adverbs can describe verbs like almost crying, or they can modify adjectives like extremely hot, or they can even describe other adverbs like very quickly. Can you think of some other adverbs that might answer the question to what extent? Now let's see if you can find the adverbs in the following sentence.
Okay, so now this is a task for you. You will have to find the adverbs, but I will be calling out the name and only that person will be answering. Okay? Now look at these questions.
Yesterday, we very carefully planted pretty.
Okay, now look at the question. Yesterday, we very carefully planted pretty flowers outside. Can you see the question? Have you seen the question, all of you? चलो now मिर्जा शब्बीर अली आप मुझे इसमें एडवर्ब बताइए. Yes, you want me to show the question again? Now look at the question. Yesterday, we were very carefully planted pretty flowers outside. Yesterday, we very carefully planted pretty flowers outside. What is the adverb in this sentence? Mirza Shabbir Ali. Where is he? He left the meeting. Kisa Fatima, can you give me the answer? Sami, please switch on your camera, Sami. Kisa Fatima. Kisa Fatima, are you there? I think most of you have just switched on your cameras and you're not even listening to what is being told here. Yes. Sakina?
Ma'am, carefully.
Carefully. So Sakina says the answer is carefully. Let's check this out.
Flowers outside. Here's a hint. There are 4 adverbs in this sentence.
Now look at the mystery now. There are 4 adverbs here. She says there are 4 adverbs in the sentence.
Pause here to think or keep watching to hear the answer. Yesterday is an adverb that tells when we planted the flowers. Carefully describes how we planted the flowers. Very describes to what extent we were careful. And outside describes where we planted the flowers.
Sakina, you're there? Yeah, you were correct. You were not wrong. But actually, there are 4 adverbs in this sentence. Okay, I will not go into depth. We will actually, it's fine if you are finding out at one verb, ly wala verb to start with. We are just beginning with the topic adverbs. So maybe I will not go in depth to give you all the adverbs. This is just for your information. But first, carefully, yes, that is an adverb. Can we look at the second one now?
The word pretty is not an adverb. It's an adjective because it describes a noun, flowers. So how can you use adverbs in your own writing? Listen to this boring sentence. The dog wagged his tail and jumped. How can you add some adverbs to this sentence to make it...
Okay, now look at this sentence. The dog wagged his tail and jumped. Okay, now quickly take out your notebooks and copy down this sentence. Quickly take out your notebooks, all of you, and copy down this sentence. The dog wagged his tail and jumped. The dog wagged his tail and jumped. Can I have everyone taking out their notebooks and writing down this sentence? I'll write in the board also so that it's clear for you. I'll write on the whiteboard. Okay, now this is the sentence. You will have to add an adverb to this sentence. The dog wagged his tail and jumped. इसमें आप adverb कैसा add करोगे? Have you all copied down the sentence? Yes, have you all copied down the sentence? Give me a thumbs up, all of you, if you have copied down the sentence. The dog wagged his tail and jumped. How will you add an adverb to this sentence? Ali, either everyone has copied. You want me to share it again? You want me to share it again? Yes. Has anyone added an adverb to this sentence, please? Yes. Has anyone added an adverb to this sentence? Has anyone added an adverb to this sentence? Yes, Sakina, Fatima, आपने लिख दिया है. Have you added an adverb? You've done? Okay, great. Okay, who else has added an adverb to this sentence? The dog wagged his tail and jumped. मतलब डॉगी ने अपनी टेल को हिलाया और he jumped. So what is the adverb you can add to this sentence? Okay, can I unmute Fatima Jafar and ask her what she has written? Fatima, आपका sentence बताइए मुझे.
Ma'am, the dog wagged his tail and jumped high.
High, okay. Now, if I have to add an adverb using the words ly. First, we will look at that ly adverbs, which is easier for you to understand. If Sakina, आपने लिखा है? Yeah, that's quite good, Fatima Jafar. Sakina, yes, what is the adverb you have written? The dog wagged his tail and jumped is the sentence. What is the adverb you have added? Sukena, आप लिख रहे हो? Sukena, are you writing? Yes.
Happily, I has added, ma'am.
Have you added?
And jump happily.
Happily, okay. Can I say that Ali Haider, आपके पास है sentence बताइए Ali Haider. Ali Haider, have you written Basharat? किसने लिखा है? Basharat, have you written? Ali Haider, लिखा है आपने Basharat? Basharat, have you written? Unmute yourself and tell me. Unmute करके बताओ. Yes, Basharat. Basharat, I can't hear you. Basharat, unmute करिए. Your microphone is switched off. Unmute your microphone. हाँ, microphone को on करके बताइए. Have you written an adverb?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, बताइए. Read out the sentence. Read the sentence. Okay, let me go back and share the video with you.
More detailed and interesting. Pause here to think, or keep watching for some ideas. There are many ways you could add adverbs to this sentence. You might say the dog happily wagged his tail and jumped up and down. Or maybe the dog always wagged his tail and jumped excitedly. So remember, adverbs are words we use to describe verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. They help answer questions like how, when, where, and to what extent. You can use adverbs to make sentences more detailed and interesting. Check out the other videos in this series to learn more about different parts of speech.